Hey, folks, good evening. It is Tuesday night. And, as I had mentioned in the past, we've been doing the Tarot Fridays, which we're now turning into Tarot Tuesday, which is not the same as Taco Tuesday, not quite as tasty as Taco Tuesday, but perhaps a little more tasty for the soul. And so we're going to start lining some people up. Tara, I saw you there already, so I already put you as number one on my list. Carl Mulek, how you doing, brother? Are you here to get a reading? If you'd like, let's put you on the list. Rocky Stucci, if you guys want readings, let me know. Let's put you on the list. S. Hetrick, good to see you. Joe Lee, Susie Q, of course. Terry Electra, nice to see you. I'm doing these readings, as I mentioned, I used to do them on Friday nights. I haven't been doing it for a long time, just a few weeks. But we've been doing Friday night, and we're moving it now to Tuesday night. So instead of Taco Tuesday, it's going to be Tarot Tuesday. And so we're going to do Tarot Tuesday now. And I missed you, Leslie. Where did I miss you? Oh, there you are. I see you. Yep, I missed you so far. Now I got you. Good to see you. And as people start filing in, I want to give you a few announcements, if you will. That's probably a good way to put it. Advertisements, announcements, marketing. Rocky Stucci and I are on in just a hair under 2 hours on the Rocky Stucci Situation Room. And we'll be going live in 2 hours, not long after we finish on this show. And so where Friday nights, we had things a little more open because there wasn't a Situation Room on Friday nights because it hits after midnight Friday morning for the Friday show. It left us a little wide open. So we're going to have to go maximum by 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central Standard Time. So in a few minutes, I'll kind of hit you up and see who wants to get on the list, and we'll put you on the list. But before that, I also want to make note of on nights that we do these tarot readings, I'm doing free sounds so cheap. I'm doing no cost to you. I'm doing some single card readings on these nights that we do these. If you're get into the chat room and you get lined up, I hate for people to come in and think, oh, I'm not going to be able to get on the list. I didn't make the first 10 or 12, and so I'm going to vamoose. Stick around because if we have time, we'll do a second round of these and get some more names. So I'll probably start by taking 7 to 8 names up front, but hold off on asking because I got to catch you as you're putting it in. So I'll catch you in a little bit here. Hang on. And I want to mention that I start my nationally broadcasted, nationally syndicated, that's the word I'm looking for, broadcast starting on Monday the 19th, 2 weeks from last night. We start in a totally different format. We'll still be simulcasting here on YouTube, and so you can catch it here with the chat room. But on the nationally syndicated show, I'll be going live to radio stations, so I'll be a little different in some of the delivery at the beginning. Won't be able to say hi to everybody and use 10 minutes of the show time to do that. So I'll say a general hello, but we'll also have a call-in line where you'll be able to call the show. Now, I won't be doing a tarot read every night, of course, on that show. It'll be Tuesday nights. If I can make it work that way, we'll make it work that way. And we'll see. We're still formatting, still putting things together. Put it on your calendar. 2 weeks from last night, Monday the 19th, going live with our first nationally syndicated show, the Intrepid Radio program, with me, Scotty Roberts, your host. And Intrepid Radio, of course, is a revival of my old show with John Ward that we used to do, just like Rocky does the Situation Room. That was our old show with Rocky, John, and me. And so revival time, it seems, with all our shows. So there we go. Let's see. I need a sip of coffee. Let's see. Susie Q, how old is JJ? I really think that there's not really a number age limit that I put on these. However, I think too young sometimes. You have to kind of stay away from it. And also, go see streamingtalkradio.com. That's Rocky's website. I'm on that website. The professor is on that website. Jeff Dougherty is. We all kind of do things together and work in and around each other and with each other. And you can find Son of a Patriot, my Etsy page, where you can, I don't have a donate button here, but go there, get some of our t-shirts. And I do all the designs, pick those up, wear them with pride, and that helps me out at the same time. Be sure to like this video and subscribe if you're not subscribed. And do spread the word. So I ache to talk politics tonight, but I don't want to get into politics tonight. All I want to tell you is this, is that be sure that the rhetoric that you're hearing in mainstream media, other internet sources, social media, the rhetoric of Trump is really, as I've written it down here, it's not Trump, it's the media and their portrayal of Trump. Make sure you put on your thinking caps when you see these things and realize what is Trump and what is the rhetoric of the mainstream media and the leftist media to try to sway you to believe a certain way, to follow their narrative. Watch the narrative out there. Everything's gone from, have you noticed? Have you heard much about Russia in the last few days? No, you haven't. You know why? Because Russia failed, collusion failed, obfuscation or obstruction of justice failed. So now they moved on to the next thing to try to sway you away from the president of the United States or voting for a different way. Now they've gotten into, oh, he's a racist. So that is a narrative created by the mainstream media, by the leftist media, and they're going to do their level best to draw you off your feet. So put on your thinking caps, use your critical thinking, and make sure you know what the hell you know before you go listening to what other people have to say. Most of what I run in on the internet and the social media is what people are picking up in sound bites on the news media, picking up on the social media. Most of those people can't argue their way out of a wet paper bag. They don't have facts or evidence that would get them out of a wet paper bag. So you can always counter anything you hear. And by the way, anything you hear where somebody attaches the orange turd sitting in the Oval Office or something of that nature, when they start insulting right away, you know right away there is no substance to their argument. And I usually call people on that and say, you obviously have no substance because all you can do is devalue your own words by stooping to schoolyard insults and barroom brawling talk. So if somebody can't speak intelligently to their points, always remind them, facts over feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings. And as John Adams said, and I'm going to call this up only because I have a shitty memory these days, it seems, but John Adams said, facts are stubborn things, and whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictates of our passion, they cannot alter the state of facts and evidence. So call for the evidence. If somebody says something, I always say to people nowadays, I say, oh, really? That's what you think? Trump's a racist. Could you present out of your own mind? Don't go look it up. Don't find the call words. Tell me why you can use the words to say Trump is a racist. Give me your facts and your evidence that you hold in hand. And many times they can't. They can go, oh, well, the things he said about Mexico. You know what? That's been so deconstructed for years. The racist thing, deconstructed for years. It's all now a narrative that people want to follow you because it's all political game playing. So I'm just going to say to you, as Rocky says at the end of every Situation Room, don't take shit from no one. I'm going to say, don't take crap from anyone. I have to modify it a little bit on that political level. Make sure you know what you are talking about. Make sure you have your critical thinking caps on and you're ready to roll. And always call people. Don't be afraid to tell people, you know what? That's kind of dumb. Give me your facts and evidence, and maybe you'll win me over, but I rather doubt you can. So there you go. Boom, bang, bingo, bada boom. All right. That's all I have to say about politics tonight, because tonight is a tarot night, as I like to say. You say tarot, I say tarot. As I mentioned a couple of times before, I was called on for being highbrow and looking down my nose at people because I said tarot. It's tarot or tarot or however you want to say it. I don't give a flying rat's bahookie what you call it. It's flipping cards. And I believe that it's God, it's your angels, your spirit guides, your guardian angels. I don't even know if those things exist anymore. But I will say this, something governs the shuffling of the deck, the spread of the cards, the doling of the cards, and the delivery of messages. All I do, I'm the middleman. I'm delivering the message to you. I am the facilitator of the message. I am the one shuffling the cards. I'm the one doing the nuts and bolts work. And occasionally I get things, feelings, intuitions, you could call them, off of the cards, and I'll let you know. So without further ado, now is the time. I've got on my list, I've already got Tara, because she was actually the first one in the chat room, if I remember right, and asked. So we're going with Tara. Anybody else out there, if you want to get a reading right now, I'm going to take the first 7 of you that say so, and we'll roll with it. And so if you're out there and you want a reading, let's go. All right. Let's see. Oi, oi, says Amanda. Let's do Amanda. I think that was a positive affirmation that you wanted a reading. So Amanda B. Let's see. Terry. Let's get you. And Jolie. And let's see. Can you pull a Trump card for Trump for me? I can pull a card for you, Iowa. You want one? We can do that. Let's see. S. Hetrick. Is that a hand up or is that a wave? I'm not sure. So let's see. Iowa. We'll do one for you. And let's see. Hi, Amanda. Jeannie Griffin. Let's see. Jeannie Griffin. Hendrick, hand up. Hedrick. S. Hetrick. All right. Melinda Biddle. Yes, he's asked. Is that S. Hetrick you're talking about, Melinda? So there we go. Good day, beautiful, says Amanda. How is it down under over there? You're 14 hours ahead of us, I think. So I think it's 11 a.m. tomorrow down in Australia. So let's see. Who else do we have? Melinda, did you want one? Is that what the yes is? Or you're acknowledging that it's somebody else? Oh, it's 12 there. So we're 12 hours difference from you. All right. Okay, well, I've got 6 people up on deck here. So let's start with that. You guys all stick around. We'll have time to do some more. So let's get rolling with the 6 I've got. Don't ask any more now because I won't see it until we get done with these first 6. So here we go. And I'm going to shuffle up. Now, as I've said several times before, what I do is I shuffle 3 times. That 3 times, just for me, clears the deck, rearranges the deck, if you will. I don't think that anybody who's out there that's delivering a message to you or internally cares. They're going to make sure that the right thing happens at the right time and the right card gets drawn. So here we go. All right, I'm going to shuffle 3 times. And then we'll go with the readings. That's 2. And this one is for Tara, which is a great name. I love Tara. It reminds me of Ireland, of course. Or Gone with the Wind, whichever one you want to think about. All right, Tara, if you were here, I would have you now cut this deck for me. So I'm going to cut the deck on your behalf. I usually go in 3 piles. Oh, I just lost half a stack. You know what? My desk has been tipping things off of it all day, and I think I ended up moving the slope of my desk here somehow today. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick up what I've got left. I got to get down and pick up those cards. Let me see if I can tip that back just a little bit. And this chair is a little, I've got carpet underneath it, so it doesn't roll very well. Let me get down here and get these. And you know what I'm going to do? Since I don't believe in accidents or coincidences, I'm going to go ahead and just shuffle this little slice of these cards that fell off the table. And I'm going to shuffle those up. And we're going to use these to draw off the top. Okay, here we go. Now, folks, pardon me for 1 second. I'm going to readjust my tabletop. For some reason, my table is more sloped than it has been recently. So I'm going to tighten it up here. We just moved my table around earlier yesterday. So there we go. All right. Now let me pull my chair back up. How's that for behind the scenes stuff in my chair that doesn't roll across the carpet? All right. Realign that camera. And here we go. All right, Tara. Here we go. Invoking favor upon shining souls. Nothing missing, nothing broken. If anything gets lost, stolen, will come back sevenfold, says Mother Key. Thank you for that. All right, here we go. Your first card, or your only card for tonight, the first card in the readings tonight. All right, this is, you see the 9 of Cups. Now, Tara, the 9 of Cups, the suit of cups is the suit of your passions. It's your relationships, your romances, your interpersonal relationships, the things that with people that you are very close to. And this is the 9 of Cups. So in this suite, I saw it in my head as S-U-I-T-E. It's suit, S-U-I-T. This suit, the cups, has to do with your passions. It has to do with all the things that you invest, things like your not just your emotions, but your love interests, your relationships of all different kinds and things like that. And the 9 of this suit is it's as in any of the suits, the 9s are titled happiness. It's like the fulfillment of the suit. It's also known as the victory. The image often shows somebody doing business, somebody engaged in something. But he's got the 9 cups in this particular thing. Feeling happy, feeling accomplished, all of those things. It's kind of rewards of high achievement. But it's in the suit of cups. So it doesn't have to do with your material well-being as much as it has to do with the well-being on your passionate level, perhaps relationship, perhaps things like that. Okay. Now look at this guy and you can see the cups. The 9 of Cups in this position, it's kind of telling you that you open yourself to circumstances that are all around you. There might be no need to manage a situation. It doesn't require a lot of control or leadership. The tone at the moment is heartfelt. It's bonded. It's nurturing. It's opening up and choosing to be receptive. It's proceeding from your heart, relying on your intuition. This is your truest source of information right now, is your heart. It's your insides. It's your gut. It's your passions. And allow yourself to be attracted to what feels supportive for you. Avoid the things that feel harsh, that feel critical, that feel judgmental. If this requires that you change your style, so be it. The results of being intuitive are generally really far superior to the results of being emotionally guarded or overly rational. So in the cups suit, this is telling you that the things of your passion, the things of your heart, are to be the things that you listen to right now, because they are going to guide you in the right direction. Now, I don't know if this speaks to a relationship for you or if it speaks to something else going on. Many times the cups have to do with romance, has to do with somebody that you're involved with. So this is a card that says it's okay at this point to not rely on being too judgmental, being too discerning, all those, heavy-handed mathematical things of life. This is saying go with the artsy part of life in a sense. And I'm using that as metaphors. This whole art versus mathematics. Mathematics is technical. It makes you break things down. It makes you do the numbers. This is saying, don't worry about the numbers right now. Worry about your heart. Your heart is guiding you in the right direction this time. You're at the 9. You're at the kind of the pinnacle before you start hitting the royal face cards with the knight and the queen and the king. So this is something that's telling you whatever's going on in your relationships, it's okay at this moment to trust what you feel, to trust what your passions are telling you, to rely on that. Because, we like to downplay. We like to say our passions are irrational. So therefore, they're not logical. So should we be following our passions? But there are times where our passions are the things we need to follow, as opposed to the logic or the rationale. So there you go, Tara. This is telling you right now, 9 of Cups has to do with something relational in your life. Follow your passions, follow your heart. Could be a relationship that doesn't exist yet, could be a relationship you're already in. This is saying follow what you feel, and you're going to be okay with it. And this is temporary, though. Remember, this is a single card. It's a general card. It's in the here and the now. It's right now, this moment. This could be very different tomorrow. It could be very different a couple of days from now. So right now, follow what's in your heart. I hope that makes some sense for you, for your situation, and that it's helpful. Somebody out there is telling you, yeah, it's okay. Follow your heart this time. All right? Hopefully that works for you. Okay. Now we've got Amanda. All right, Amanda B, down there in Australia, down with the ruse and all of those things. You and your sitting on the billy bong. Let me shuffle up for you. And I'm not making fun. I'd love to go to Australia. And I know it's a big continent. It's like saying, I want to go to America. What do you see? Oh, well, a million things. So zoning in. Here we go. And you know your cards too, Amanda. So you'll know almost right away probably what's going on. If I had you here right in front of me, I'd have you now cut this deck. So let's cut it. I'm going to cut it 3 ways for you. And I'm going to restack it in a way that feels good. And I got a straggler sitting on the bottom that I'm going to take that, and that's going to be your card. It's the same card. It's the 9 of Hearts relationship. But here's what I want to do. We already had the explanation for that. This is saying follow your heart and your passions. May or may not have to do with a relationship. It might be to do with family. I happen to know you have little boys. Might have to do with your relationship with them. But I'm going to take that and put that on the bottom of the deck and draw a different card for you. Just so we don't go through the same thing. Let's give you something new and fresh. All right. This one's a little different. Totally, completely different message. All right. Judgment. See that card? It's got the angel coming down, and there's a grave back there. There's all these different things in the imagery on this card. Now, this is a very, I've always found this to be a very interesting card. This isn't the same as the Justice card, which talks about court and things like that and legal matters. This is something a little different. This is called, I have always called this the Resurrection card, because in some of the older decks, some of the decks I first started, it showed somebody, and I don't think they show it here, somebody coming up out of the tomb. It's the Resurrection card. It's the Great Reunion. It's this thing that the ancients believed in that would happen once in every age or at the end of an age. This was the time when souls were harvested, taken home to their place of origins. It's the Great Reunion. It includes every personality that you've ever been, every soul that you have done deep work with. It reunites to consciously complete this process. In personal terms, the Judgment card points out how to freedom from inner conflict. So it's saying there's things that are reuniting for you finally. Now, this may not be ultimate. Doesn't necessarily mean this is the ultimate, the penultimate of everything, and you're done. No, it's saying that there's a bunch of things that are working from past lives, from other things, other experiences you've had that are all reuniting us, resurrecting that old soul, so to speak. And it's bringing it out to the forward. And this is saying right now, Amanda, allow yourself to grow. Transform. Release these hidden potentials. Divest yourself of all these fruitless endeavors, things that you've engaged yourself in that have come to nothing. And at the same time, invest your energies in new growth. It's not necessary at this time to reject others, but to refuse to be manipulated by those around you. Those who are trying to get something from you, those who are trying to cry foul, those who are trying to get you to think ill of yourself or well of yourself. You don't have to listen to anybody right now. This process isn't about them. It's about you and the desire that you feel to change your life, to become more complete in the person you are. Trust your impulses. Allow this remarkable awakening to happen. This card is telling me you have a sort of resurrection that you're either in right now or you're entering into. That you're being called upon to be somebody who takes everything you've invested in yourself and eschew or push away. It's not about neglecting or getting rid of advice of good people. It's about saying it's not about their advice right now. It's about what you're bringing to the table. And that you're the one who has to bring this to life now. It may be something that you have lost in the process. Maybe even something you're cognitively aware of that you have lost, or where you're feeling the brick wall. You're running into the brick wall with your face and you're not getting anywhere. And this is saying, stop. All this effort you put in, now it's time to resurrect everything that was behind it, everything you've invested in getting there. It's time to make a new beginning, to make a new thing happen. It's judgment. In a sense, the resurrection is all about the call to judgment. If you look at Christianity, and that's the word picture here, is there was the call to judgment, and so the dead would rise and go to judgment. Some cards, they had the risen Christ on the card, just as a word picture to talk about resurrection, about new life, about putting the old to death and becoming something completely new because you're fulfilling something else. So what I'm seeing here is This is, and it's major arcana. So it's a spirit message that's telling you that you may have gone through some rough times. You may go through some self-doubting, some self-loathing. All of that can be wrapped up into this, but now it's the okay time to say, I've been put to death, and now I've been risen from the dead. It's the resurrection. So there you go. And act on that. What many of us do, we hear these messages and we move on. Oh, that was cool. Now I got to go do my thing. This is a thing. Keep this. It's major arcana. Keep it in the back of your head. This is something to recognize in what's going on in your world around you right now. Recognize the people that have influenced you. Recognize the things you have done to get where you want to be, and maybe even failed. But it's resurrection time. So bring it to the front. There you go. Hope that works for you, Amanda. Hope it means something. All right. Take a sip of coffee. I got Terry coming on next. Roger, thank you. It's good to have you here. I'm good you're here. I'm glad you're here with everybody else. It's a great group of people. And I feel a lot of comfort, Roger, if it's anything good for you to know, I'm right there with you with these people. I wish we could all get together, but we're all around the world. So the States and the world. So we'll do our best by being here. All right, guys. Terry, front and center. Here we go. And Amanda, I'm glad. All right. One shuffle for Terry. Let's do number 2. And number 3 for Terry. Terry, quite contrary. How does your garden grow? If you were here, have you cut the cards? I'm going to cut them for you instead. There we go. All right. Here we go, Terry. Terry said no. Is that an answer to a question or something I said? Terry, here's your card. I'm just laughing. You got the 7 of coins. And it shows a woman in her garden. How about that? All right. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the 7 of coins. I remember I had a woman who used to cut my hair way back in the day. Back when I was first doing, well, past that, it was in the 90s. And I'd been reading cards for about 15 years. And she reminded me of what this person is. This is the entrepreneur who has sunk their investment into planting the seed, to watering it, to watching it grow, potting the plants, separating them out, and now is starting to see them grow to fruition, is the idea. And remember, the coins have to do with your material well-being. It's your money, your finances, the things you bring to the table to make your material life work. It's not materialism. It's material things. And so this suit is dealing with all of those things for you. And if you see this person, it's this humble laborer who's willing to show up every day, sweat in the sun for next season's bounty. And it's the traditional concept is cultivation. It's an attitude that's slow and steady is the one that wins the race. You have a faith in nature's assistance to make things happen. This is a person on the card that doesn't make excuses, isn't whimsical or moody, but is dedicated, sees the job through. And it's no good to count your chickens before they hatch, kind of thing. There's no question that this person who is vigilant over a project is more likely to get the desired result. So it's someone possibly who works with nature. And by nature, it could be agricultural. It could be planting things. It could be you get nature to cooperate with you. In other words, remember the magician pulls all these elements out of nature to make them work. This was sometimes seen as nominally as a farmer, but I don't think that's what this is about. The Seven of Coins is telling you to focus on the long run. Terry, look at the big picture. Look at the long run. Take the long look out is what this is saying. You might be at the seed stage. You might be at the seedling stage. You might be at the growing stage, the watering stage, the replanting stage. It's saying take the long look. This card exemplifies the whole magic of compound interest. You know what that is in banking terms, compound interest. You get an interest here, but then it builds your balance. And so next year, that balance gains more interest. Then that balance with the new interest gains more interest. It's compounded interest is the idea here. You're going to have much better results with a slow, steady investment of time, energy, labor than you would generate by, say, winning the lottery. Although we'd all like to win the lottery. This is one that says you're going to do far better all on your own with your slow, meticulous self making this happen. Perseverance, success that grows out of perseverance. Glamorous, flashy moves can't take the place of consistent steps in the right direction. If you don't understand this, you might be moving in the wrong direction or not motivated strongly enough to continue doing what you're doing. So this card is telling me, if this is a card of your personality, I would say that you are somebody who's stalwart. You set your mind to, and you make it happen. You're not flighty. You don't fall into flights of fancy. The presence of the coins says this has something to do with your material well-being. If you are an entrepreneur, this is something that says you're, if not seeing the benefits right now, you're being reminded that the work you are putting in is starting to show those benefits, and you're going to reap those benefits if you stick to it. And that apparently you have the personality to do this. If you're not an entrepreneur, it could just be in business. It could be in life, the nuts and bolts of life, making things work, that you have that ability to stick to the task and make it work. You're the person who would be with the company for a while and work your way into a position where you become, the captain of the industry, the CEO of that company, something like that. It's moving you on. I see this more as the card of entrepreneurship. I've used it so many times for that in the past. So there. I hope that message works for you. I hope that's right. I hope it's spot on. I hope it means something to you. Work hard. Keep your hand. Don't be flighty. Don't jump from thing to thing. This is saying the thing you're in, it's working. And so keep working at it because it's going to yield results that are beneficial to you. Okay? Hope that makes sense. All right. And folks, Debbie, I see you right now, so I'm going to write you in. But everybody hold off waiting to get on the list because I'm not going to see most of them until we're done with this first batch. So that's Debbie McNabb. Let me write you down because I happen to see you. All right, let's move on to Jolie. And Jolie, I'm going to shuffle for you 3 times, as usual. And I hope that these things are of benefit to you all and that they mean something to you, that it applies. There's nothing like getting a tarot reading and going, I had no idea what that meant. If that happens to you, I would recommend this. Sit with it for a bit and see where it takes you. See what it does for you tomorrow. if you don't see it today, kind of thing. So, Jolie, final shuffle. If you were here, I'd have you cut the deck, so I'm going to cut it on your behalf. And let's get these rearranged. All right. Here's your card. We have the Knight of Coins. All right, coins, the same suit. This is the coins have to do with your material well-being, the things that you bring to the table, the nuts and bolts of life, the making things work for you. The knights in the deck, all the knights are emissaries, messengers, bringing information to you. They want you to know something. And they are also all usually on horseback when you see them in the deck. Means they're in movement. They're moving forward. But the Knight of Coins is generally the only knight who is not on horseback. He's the only one who's not moving forward. He's generally at a standstill. And the reason is that this knight is somebody who is slow, plodding, meticulous about his decision making. He's the mathematician as opposed to the artist, like we were talking earlier. He's the one that will look at everything. He looks at things, weighs them out, tries to determine what is the best way to move. He's the guy that wants to make sure he plans his work and then works his plan. He's kind of an overseer. He oversees fertility, growth, expansion. His period of ascendancy, to get wax a little esoteric, is during the quiet years between conflicts, when everybody can collaborate in raising the collective standard of living. His horse is usually huge, the thickest, suitable to pulling a plow or any standing still. And in the bigger picture, he's kind of like the farmer that plans for the future. He doesn't allow momentary fads. You can feel his stability and his dedication. He is totally responsible and even somewhat predictable when it comes to his projects because he's earthy, he's gentle, he's simple and deep as the soil he tills and flowers. So when you see this guy, you're being really told it's time to offer up your services to some project or to some enterprise that's in front of you. You're standing still, you're looking at it, you're reconnoitering, you're appraising the land in front of you. You're looking ahead, and there's this enterprise in front of you that you're willing participation could make the difference between this marginal performance and a great performance. The entire endeavor is going to be enhanced significantly by the resources you bring to it, and you'll be blessed tenfold is the idea. And it's kind of like you'll be expected to be leadership, to supervise, to guide. You'll influence the outcome of the events. And without you on board, this endeavor is just another good idea, is the idea with this. And so I don't know if there's a particular project you're involved in, or if this is just dealing with your financial well-being, your state of affairs right now, your personal money, your personal job, things like this, entrepreneurship maybe. But this is saying you need to take on the role of the Knight of Coins. He is the one who is slow, plodding, meticulous, works the math, works the plan before he does a thing. And then he goes out. Then he sets out. That makes him not only know what the hell he's doing, but he's valuable to all the other people around him because he makes this thing work well and makes it work for himself. So there you go. That work for you, Joe? Jolie. There it is. I hope that makes sense to you and your situation. All right. Here we go. I'm going to move on. Iowa X. Here we go. Or, I've never known. Is it Iowax or is it Iowa X? Iowa 10. There you go. All right, here we go. Thank you, Terry. And you're welcome, Jolie. All right, Iowa, I'm going to... are you still in Iowa, by the way? When I knew you before, a long time ago. I don't remember where it was. Was it via Nancy Planetta? Was it via Lam Lam Fear? Was it via other people that we knew where I first met you? I can't remember. Iowa X, like Malcolm X. Gotcha. All right. Here we go. Hey, Delaney. All right. Iowa City. All right. You're not far from us, really. Well, it's a few hours to Iowa. Let me shuffle for you. There's once and twice. 3 times a shuffle. Here we go. Number 3. And I'm going to cut this deck for you. As if you were here doing it yourself. Boom. Boom. Boom and boom. All right. Here we go, Iowa. All right. I like this card. Now, it's a royal face card. It's a king. It's the King of Wands. Now, I always hold these at the right angle, trying to not get the light on them. First of all, the wands has to do with your emotional makeup. The things that drive you, the things that make you go. I used to say to my Star Trek friends, this is the card that will make me go. You will make us go, Jordy. So that's what this is. A card that will make you go. It's your energy. It's your emotions. It's the things you bring to the table. It's the things for you to be excited about, be zealous about, have fun with. Hey, kitten. The things that drive you in life, things that make you go. And so now you're at the king, and the king is like the pinnacle of this whole suit of wands. He's at the top, and he's the one who's kind of made it. Now, the king cards and the queen cards, the royal face cards, generally always stand for somebody specific in your life. It's either it's a male figure, it's a king. That's either like a dad, an uncle, a grandfather, a boss, a friend, but somebody who has great influence over you, or this is simply you. It's representing who you are, your creative energy. Now, there are times where I've done the tarot where these royal face cards, kings and queens, represent somebody who is of great influence in the life of the person I'm reading. More often than not, and maybe this is because this is the way I want to see the cards, so it ends up meaning that. It molds to me as a reader. I think the whole tarot thing molds to what you do with it and how you're using them. I think this represents you. I think these are all about who you are rather than somebody else. Outside chance it's somebody else. It's probably who you are. Now, this king he has the energy, the dynamic zeal, excitement, exuberance of the king. It's the classic conquering hero. He's the charismatic leader, the entrepreneurial, ambitious, always creating new adventures. He's the creative. The wands is the creative side of things. If you notice the red appears in all this suit of wands, especially in this deck, to signify that fire and zeal, that exuberance of youth, the excitement. He's always creating new adventures. He does this because he doesn't like to stay home. He doesn't like to have to mind the store. He gets to feeling restless and bored. He hates the predictable. If you need a crusader, if you need somebody to take on a big challenge, this guy's your man. So this is who you are. He needs a big assignment, and he'd rather lead than follow. Now, most of your explorer adventurer types, which is how I've always classified myself with things that I do, they tend to be a little narcissistic, a little egotistical. Now, mind you, with all the talk of Trump and all of this being a narcissist, narcissism is actually not a bad thing. Narcissism, like anything else, can be bad if it's taken to a psychotic degree. But then that person is usually not normally functional in society. So narcissism, we all look in the mirror, most of us do, and we want to look good. We want to make sure we're wearing a sharp shirt or suit or whatever we're wearing. We want to make sure our hair's done right. All of that stuff. We all have narcissism. And that is a healthy narcissism right there. We want to succeed at our jobs. We want to succeed at the things we put our hands to. We want to have a good family. Not only is this good for the people around us, it reflects on us. So we also have a healthy ego. This guy, I always thought this card, he looks a bit like Kenneth Branagh, if you know who that is, British actor. But his ego's kind of evidenced in his enjoyment of flattery, of praise. I can tell you something. As many of you have probably detected, I have an ego. I have a healthy ego, but it comes out of flattery and praise for what I do. I like to write a book or draw a picture or paint a painting and say, look what I did. This is my thing, and I want you to enjoy it. And because I made this, I don't want to go hide it in a closet after I've made it. I want to enjoy it. And I want people to, that's that healthy ego this is talking about with this king. It's his enjoyment of flattery, praise. He's a performer. He overachieves. He has, he likes to overachieve in situations where he'll be noticed. But in private, he kind of likes to be served, adored, like the lion, the headline of the Pride. He's a benevolent dictator. He makes life wonderful for those around him, for those people he loves, and just the opposite for those who displease him. He can be pretty nasty. So in this position, this card is reminding us that our lives are designed to bring us eventually to a place of self-ownership. It's this opportunity for self-empowerment. It's presenting itself to you right now, Iowa. Recognize that through your attitude, the way you express yourself to others, you hold the power over your experiences in your life and how you present those to those around you. You're determining. You are the determinant. You're the determining factor in whatever situation's going on with you, whatever the circumstance is, where you have to be the king or where you're relying on this energy within yourself. How do I want to say this? You're the determining factor, but you also are the person that wants to steer the ship, that needs to steer the ship, that people around you need to have steering the ship. So indecision, doubt are really not appropriate responses when clarity and confidence are critical. And as you take on a bigger role, it's going to feel more comfortable. This is you in the creative seat, you being the leader that has these abilities. It's okay to express your ego a bit, but modestly, because everybody knows you got one. Everybody's got one to one extent or another. But this is the king who has the creative, adventurous verve and can lead the situation, but has the confidence to do it. Have you ever wanted to follow a leader, a boss, as somebody who doesn't really have that ability to lead? They're just in the position because they've got the seniority or whatever it might be. They interviewed for that position and got it. This is the person he's there. He's like on top of it. I can do this, and I know I can do this, and I'm setting out to do this. This is saying use the excitement and zeal and the energy you have, the ego you have, to make them work for you in whatever situation you're in right now. And the wands, it has to do with your emotional makeup. These are the things that drive you. This is job, family. I'm not talking passions. I'm not talking material things. The things that you want to do. There are a lot of people out there who have jobs they don't like. And they're just there because this is what I could get to make the ends meet, or this isn't really where I want to be, but it's a stepping stone to where I want to be. And it's a pain in the ass. This is the card that says you are moving beyond that, or already have moved beyond that, and you're taking that leadership role, and you've got the abilities to do it. And you're the king. You're the king of your emotions. That's what it says. It means you're not dragged down by your emotions. You're not overrun by your emotions. You have the ability to overrun them. All right. Any of that make any sense for you? I hope it does. That's for you, Iowa. All right. Let me scratch off my list. All right. That's interesting, Delaney. We'll have to talk about that. All right. Let's see. Hope I didn't lose you, Iowa. Nope, just support Trump for fun. All right. No, that's okay. I didn't respond, Delaney, in any kind of thing that would be public because you said something to me privately, it looks like. Or at least not shown. So let's see. Iowa says, yep, thanks, makes a reading fun. Good. Glad it is. All right, let's move on. I have Hetrick. S. Hetrick. I'm not sure if you gave me your first name last time and I forgot it, or if you didn't give it to me. If you've got a first name you want me to go by, you can state it, Mr. or Ms. Hetrick. I can't remember even if you're a man or woman. I'm sorry. I read you fast last time and it all goes over my head and blends together. So, but you're on deck. Here we go. Not on deck. You're on bait. You're at home plate. All right. S. Hetrick. Let's go. Let's shuffle for you. 3 times. S. Hetrick. I don't see you yet. Hoping you're still here. Here we go. One more. Yes, you may, Delaney. I'm put you down here. I see it. Don't everybody start asking yet because I can't really concentrate on it yet. When we're done with this reading, then we'll move on to get a couple more people lined up here. All right. S. Hetrick. There you are. Stephanie. All right. I know you're not a guy now. All right, here we go. And I think you may have told me that last time. Hopefully this time I'll remember it. I'm going to cut this deck for you. And if you were here, I'd be having you do it. But since you're not, I'm doing it on your behalf. Here we go. All right. Here we go. You ready, Stephanie? Here's your card. You have the 8 of coins. Coins, once again, is that suit of material well-being. It could have to do with your job, with your finances, with all of that kind of stuff, the nuts and bolts of life. the things that make life go. The 8, if you look up in the corner, I had to make sure that imagery was there. Up in the corner, there's like a compass and a square and things like that. No, it doesn't mean Masonic in this particular deck, but this has to do with the craft of doing something. This is often this card is it's disappointment. It's and I want to tell you because there's more to it than that. It's disappointment, emotional setback. There's a bit of betrayal or injury to the heart, something like that. And oh no, wait, I'm in coins. This is coins. I'm thinking cups for some reason. Coins, and I think I even said coins. Here you go. It's none of those things. I started reading in my head the 8 of cups. And it's not the 8 of cups, it's the 8 of coins. All right, so belay that. Let's move back to the 8 of coins now. And the 8 of coins, this has to do with your material well-being and stuff. And that wasn't feeling right there when I said disappointment. And I'm going, wait a minute. And I look and I go, wait, that's coins, not cups. So this card, this is the card of works. And what I already know of the 8 of coins, it has to do with investing yourself in your talents, investing yourself in what you do. It's the successful artisan who spends time on his bench. That's the square and the compass. It's sitting at your desk, your drafting table, in the case of the example on the card. The artist in his or her class. It's you're working on your skill. It's it has to do with the trap of workaholism. The feeling of being so indispensable that you're not going to ask for help or delegate anything. There's also this issue of becoming so identified as the creator of elegant works or the thing that you work on, the thing that you're known for, that the personal identity of the creator becomes consumed by the works themselves. And the artisan, I'm going to tell you this from a little bit of experience, seldom gets to have a home life. Time off, time for friends. The solution lies in balancing creative energy with personal life. You are somebody that puts yourself into, this is the creative person that's working as either an entrepreneur or to get themselves ahead. And many times being this person can be something that could be wearing on home life because you're so given to what you do. This is saying focus your main project and produce as much as you can. Stay healthy. This is an important time for meetings, for goals, but don't work so hard that your quality suffers. You're in a position where your work can make a huge difference right now. Apply yourself, do the work. You'll be rewarded. There's flexibility, there's freedom, there's expansion. All of these things taking place with this guy. This is saying the 8 of coins is saying it's time for the payoff. It's going to hit you for putting the hard work in to be recognized for what you do. In some of the old decks, he's sitting in front of a window and there's a castle out there that he's striving for. And this is one that if there's any prediction to this card, it would say that the offer's coming that's based on the recognition of what you do. It's okay to show off your goods because you put in the time, you put in the work. And now somebody's going to look at the work and the time that you put in and your effort. It's almost like saying, you know, all that schooling you went through, all that training you went through, all of this, it's paying off. because now somebody's going to recognize you for that. But at the same time, it's also a thing that says you've been in this for a while and you're going back to the workbench. You might even be going back to the workbench to learn a new skill that's different from what you've already brought to the table, or an expansion of, or an alteration to. It's like saying, I've always been an illustrator in pencil drawings and watercolors and stuff like that. Now I'm being asked, can you step it up to digital and do that on the computer? And you go, wow, I've never done that before. Okay, we're going to send you to class or start learning that. Once you've mastered that, I think you can do it. We're going to move you up into this position. It's kind of something like that too. It's taking what you already know and expanding it. Being somebody who has the ability to put the time in necessary to be rewarded at the end for doing what's necessary to get there. That makes sense? So this is a card of taking your skill set, expanding it, improving it, maybe even going to school for it, going to class for it, or just learning as an apprentice or something. This has less to do with apprenticeship because it's a single person on there on the card. There is another card for apprenticeship that shows more than one person. So there you go. This is saying you're moving ahead by improving what you do. And the recognition for that is either on top of you or it's coming. All right. Does that make sense, Stephanie? I hope it does. I hope it means something for you. All right. I'm going to move on. I got 2 more people on my list before I take any new people on the list. So stick around. As soon as we finish these 2, we'll move into getting some more people. Debbie McNabb, are you here? Oh, thank you, Delaney. That was actually given to me by somebody who is a Bigfoot. Eric Altman is his name. And about 10 years ago, he gave that to me. I was standing with Amy Bruni at one of the Ghost Hunters events, and he gave one to her and one to me, and she wanted to trade hers for mine, but I like this one too much. So, yeah, that was my Bigfoot. That's supposed to be a casting, if I remember right, off of one of the original casts. It's a secondary cast off of the cast from the Patterson Gimli site. So I think that's what he told me. There you go. All right, here we go. Debbie McNabb, you still around? If you are, front and center, there you are. All right, let me shuffle for you, and then I'm going to do Delaney after you, and then we're going to take some new names after that. All right, Debbie. Shuffle you up. One more time for you. And I'm going to cut the deck for you, just like I do for everybody. And here we go. Let's get your card, if I can pick that up. All right, the card for you, Debbie, is the 10 of Cups. All right. Now, the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is kind of this, it's the pinnacle of the suit of cups. And cups has to do with your emotional, your passions, not your emotional makeup, your passions, your relationships, and all of that. Kind of talked about this before. Now, this is the pinnacle of the suit before you start hitting the royal face cards, which have different meanings to them. This signifies this card. Look at it close. Family, community. There's celebration going on. There's happiness. That includes generations. It's crowned by this rainbow um, that kind of signifies the end of hard times. This is a card of love. It's support, extending in all directions around you. It's a huge emotional safety net for you and everybody around you. And this is all about prioritizing teamwork over your personal goals. It's getting everybody in the family involved. It's getting your loved ones involved, the people that matter to you uh, involved. They all have to feel like they're making a contribution. And the crew needs to feel like they're in this all together. And everyone needs to be rewarded when the ship comes in, is the idea. And so it's essential to follow a teamwork approach in order to maximize all these benefits for yourself and those around you. And the good that's going to emerge from this, approach of doing it this way, it's going to last for a very long time after the project, if you will, is over. You're going to be generously rewarded later if you take a selfless approach now. This is all about coming to it's kind of this fulfillment of all your passions for the people and the loved ones around you. It could have to do with a project that's outside the home, outside the family, outside your loved ones, but I don't think so, because the cups, to me, it's all pretty puritanical. It's pretty straightforward. Cups is all about the passions of your heart. Now, if your job, if you elevate to that to the same level as a romance, maybe this would apply. But this is more about your relationships and the things and the romances and your family. It's coming together and making it all work, because it's all going to work for you. And the rainbow, when you get the 10 in any of the suits, it's kind of the culmination of everything that's built up to that point. So in the passionate, this is about family, about you personally, how you affect those around you that you consider your family or that are your blood family, that you are focusing your efforts on and your passions on. And it's teamwork, and all these people work together with you, however many of them there are. Could be just you and somebody else, might be you and a few other people. This is saying you're working together to make this thing happen. Now, a card like this, I want to remind you as I talk about it, this may not be your whole life. This is here and now. This is right now. This is this moment. You could recognize this as something you're working on, or something. It doesn't even have to be as defined as, oh, I'm working on that thing. Maybe you're not working on anything other than the general, I'm working on life, working on love, I'm working on happiness. And it's not something that's brought to the forefront of your mind as, this is my project today, and my to-do list today is. It might not so much be that as you investing yourself in the passions of your life, which are the people around you, the people you love and that love you back, that you maybe provide for, or that you are part of providing for. It's teamwork toward that end. And, or it may be just the opposite. It may be something specific with these people, family, close friends, whoever are your love interests, your relationship, your romance, could have to do with that. And you could say it's a project, hell, we've all been in relationships where we go, now this is my project. I'm going to make this work the way I want it to work. Either getting of it or maintaining it. So there you go. I hope that makes sense for you. There's not much of a deeper message to this card, or that gives me any clue to anything else that's going on other than that this is focusing your passions on yourself and the people you love, and you're working together for a wonderful outcome. And this is telling you that's what's coming. It's a wonderful outcome if it's not here already. All right. Does that make sense? I hope. And by the way, if you don't have that yet, it might be saying that, well, this isn't a card that's telling you anything. The only action it's telling you is make sure you incorporate teamwork and make sure you include everybody to make this end happen. All right? I hope that works. I hope that means something for you. All right, one more reading before we take some more names is Delaney. Let's get you going here. Wow. I had a card, Delaney, that just flipped right out on me. I'm like this as I started to shuffle, and this card just flipped right out at me. And when that happens, I'm not superstitious or anything. I think in a positive sense, I need to take that card and read it for you. There's a reason that popped out of the deck. And you got the Two of Coins. Now, the Two of Coins it's a card of balancing things. I want you to see this. You've got the infinity symbol here. And again, this is coins, so it all has to do with your material well-being, the things with your money, with your job, with the material things of life. This is a symbol of magical talisman. It represents wealth potential for you. And the suit is something supportive that's available to you, whether it's health, some kind of talent, mental or financial. What you see is a guy that's juggling two coins, and it's in this figure eight, this symbol of infinity. And one is heads up, kind of, the other's kind of the tails, which you can't really make out in this deck. Both are flipping in the air. One or the other of the coins is going to drop, is the idea. And the card is talking about patience. Don't allow yourself to be rushed. The figure eight image is the symbol of immortality and eternity. Its message is no need to hurry because it's timeless. You have all the time you need to work this out, no matter how things appear right now. And so implied in this scenario is the idea that changes are in the works for you in your material category, but you're going to do better to stay calm until you have more information. Everything's in flux at a time like this. And the Two of Coins in this position advises you to not choose anything definitively right now. For the time being, for the very present, give yourself a little more time to sort out your feelings and any mixed messages you might be receiving from other people. Ask yourself, are the facts in yet? Or is the coin still flipping in the air? There's no need to be goaded into premature decisions or actions. You only need to act when you're able to do so with a unified heart, a unified mind. This is the card that speaks to having potential in something that has to do with your material well-being, your money, your job. Hasn't come to fruition yet, but you're working on it. You're there. This is having respect for others who display the courage of new convictions. This is you respecting yourself and what you bring to the table. And for your material well-being, it says there might be a little bit of upheaval right now. The coins are spinning, in other words. It's the infinity symbol. They're flipping in the air, and nothing's landed yet. And, you hate to think of your material well-being as being something that is as random as a coin toss. But the idea is that the infinity symbol wrapped around them is saying, like it already said, there is time is on your side. The right decisions are going to be made. You're going to bring the right things to the table. Just bear with it while it does its work. Bear with your financial situation, with your job, with anything like that. And let me know if that actually is something that matters for you, that works. This card flipped out of the deck, so I wanted to read that. I felt that had something to do with the reading. So the Two of Coins, keep the plates spinning on the top of the staves, if you will. You know, you've seen the plate spinners where they spin plates on the top of the poles. And so the idea is keep the plates spinning, but don't be weary in doing it, because eventually you're going to find the answer. Eventually it's going to hit you between the eyes. And eventually the coin is going to drop and you're going to know exactly what's going on. So don't feel frustrated right now. It's all for your good and your benefit, but it's at the very early card. We saw the 10 of, not the 10 of coins, but the 10 of cups in another reading, the pinnacle. This is the 2. This is way at the bottom of the coin. So this is almost like starting out, like getting something moving, creating something that is going to work for you. All right. There's that. Hope that makes sense. You're doing a vid as you speak. Jeannie Griffin says, Ed Sullivan Show. Talking about the plate spinner. So there you go. Delaney, I hope that meant something to you and that worked for you. Folks, before we move on here, I am going to put in a link here. Is there a connectivity? You know what? Let me try something here. I might be on my wireless. I'm going to turn off my wireless and just go with the hard line. My kids get on my computer sometimes. They pick it up and walk it out of here and they put it on wireless. So there you go, my little kids. There you go. All right. Yes, dude. No. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, you said OMG. All right. Hopefully that means it was meaningful and that it helped. All right. You see that link I put in? Scott Allen Roberts, my website, .com/HTML. I'm going to put it in again. Go over there. There are 2 PayPal links. One is for a 5-card reading for $45. One is for a 10-card reading for $85. Tonight, and I only do this on the nights of the readings, midnight tonight, which is an hour and a half from now, hour and 40 minutes, midnight Central Standard Time. If you would like to get a 10-card reading, which costs normally $85, go over there and purchase the $45 5-card reading tonight before midnight Central, and you'll get the 10-card reading. That's the special for the night that we do the readings. And I hope that doesn't sound too confusing. Just go click on the $45 link. You'll get the $85 reading. Click on the $5 link. You get the $10 reading. And that's until for, boy, if I'm buffering badly, I don't know if it's me or if it's everybody having problems with the reception. So Delaney says, Scotty, bruh, I film every card pulled, but they all jump out. And I'm poor as a joke. You're poor as a joke. I'm not sure what you mean. You're poor? That's a joke, or it's a joke on the cards because you're poor. Well, this card says you're at the beginnings of something with your material well-being. It might not be the first thing you've ever done. It just means right now you're at the beginning and you're waiting for that coin to drop. All right. I hope that makes sense. All right. So anyway, go over, pick up a $45 reading. You will get the $85 reading, but you got to do it in the next hour and a half, midnight Central Standard Time. And let's get you on the boards and then leave a way for me to contact you or contact me through here or through Facebook. Through my phone number is on everything. It's on my website. And get a hold of me and we'll line up your reading then. So there you go. All right. Let's do this. We've got 35 minutes till I have to be on with Rocky. And I'm usually try to finish up in here about this time. So I'm going to let's do 2 more cards for people. So if you'd like, let's see, I would love a reading tonight for myself and my wife. Carly, tonight, please. Thank you, Scotty. Roger, I've got to go on live with Rocky in about 34 minutes. So, Roger, if it's got to be tonight, oh boy, it would be after midnight. It'd be an hour and a half from now before I'd even be available to do anything. Otherwise, it could be tomorrow morning. Could be early tomorrow morning or anytime during the day tomorrow. Let me know, Roger. Oh, you can wait till next week? Okay. All right. Sorry I couldn't fit it in for you right now. It's just already got radio to do tonight. So there you go. All right, Fran, I got you. And let's see. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Just looking to see. You know what? If you'd like, let's do this. I'm going to do Fran and Roger. If you stick around. Yes, got to call me, Jeannie. If you stick around, Roger, I'll throw a few cards for you right here after I do Fran. So, Fran, I'm doing you now. And then, Roger, stick around. I'll drop you a couple of cards right here. And then we can line up something, a bigger reading for next week. All right. If it's helpful for you to do that. Fran, I'm going to shuffle for you right now. And we'll see where it goes. All right, Fran. Now, if you were here, of course, I would have you cut the deck. So I'm going to cut the deck for you. And kind of put them back together here. Oh, man. Here we go. All right, Fran. Here's your card. Now, we've had this card tonight early on in the night. This is the Judgment card. Let me get that up there. I had to move my mic. The Judgment card. It's from the Major Arcana. And I know we've had this already tonight, but for somebody else. But let's read this card here, and we'll tell you a little bit more about what it is. I don't know if you were here when we read it for somebody else, but let's see if the words come out any differently. It's what I call the Resurrection card. This is the card that is all the things you've invested in your life. It could even be past life stuff, which gets into that kind of oogie boogie territory, that woo territory. If we keep it practical, it's all the things that you've brought to things in your life that may have passed. They're over. But now, it's like the souls are being harvested. They're being brought back. Life is, they showed the resurrected Christ on some of the cards coming up out of the tomb in the background there. You see that tomb. And the idea is that it's a soul coming back to its place of origin. It's the great reunion, so to speak. It's every personality you've ever been, every soul you've ever done deep work with, reunites to complete this whole process in you. It's kind of symbolic returning every year on our birthday kind of thing. And the Judgment card points to freedom. It's freedom from your inner conflicts. All the stuff that have been, that need clearing. It's clearing out a path, clearing out a channel for you. It's these buried talents and gifts of the past incarnations that can come through an individual in this lifetime. And, you know, the jury is out on this stuff. And Amanda, if you're still there and you hear this too, uh, this card, because this is who I read the judgment card for earlier, Fran. This is on a very metaphysical realm. This is saying all the souls you have been, reincarnation wise or from life to life. This is the culmination of all those talents. You can draw on that. It's almost like having this personal energy, this card, to resurrect the goodness and the talents and the efforts and the skills of those who have come before you that are part of you, and being able to express those in your present, in your current. It's resurrecting those people. So I've always wondered why judgment goes along with the resurrection card, because this is the card that allows yourself to grow, to transform, to divest yourself of all the efforts that have been fruitless in your life, but without neglecting your duties. You invest your energies in new things, in new growth, and new effort. And it's not necessarily to push people away from you or to reject other people, but you have to refuse to be manipulated by people. People who cry foul over you, people who try to make you do things you don't want to do, or try to convince you you're something you're not. It's not about them, so don't worry about it. It's about you. It's the desire you feel to change your life. And it's you who is making, it's kind of you making this remarkable awakening happen, you bringing about the resurrection, you making that happen for you, and you being able to tap into things that you may not realize you have to tap into. So judgment also means you're using your good judgment to do things. You're weighing things out. It's also a card that kind of speaks in the past tense. It's like saying, the judgment has happened. And now it's over. Now you're rising from the dead, so to speak, resurrecting. There is also that idea that resurrection can only happen, new life can only happen once there has been death and judgment, if you look at it from a religious or a theological point of view. So right there, judgment. This is what you have to have epitomizing your life right now in the current. Might not be the same tomorrow or next week. This is where you are right now. And so allow yourself to dig into what you know you have inside to make the appropriate decisions or execute the appropriate talent is the word I was going to say, but that's not the word I'm after. To execute the appropriate skill set, so to speak, to make something work for you. Incorporate all those things and realize that you are a product of everything you've been. And if you take it out of the metaphysical, everything you've done in this life, it's all the things that, all the experiences. You ever wonder, I don't know how old you are, Fran, or what your experiences are, but I know in my life, in the lives of other people I know well, I would ask myself constantly, why did that thing happen to me? What am I supposed to learn out of that? Is it just life and experience, or is there somebody saying there's a lesson to be learned? There's something to move on to store this for later. So you take it out of the metaphysical realm and say, this is physical. This is about my life. These are all the things I have done that bring me to this. It's recognition of the things that, what's the old saying? Not to be cliche. That which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's the idea of that. It's resurrecting from all of that. It's putting out on the table all the things that have made you who you are. and all the things that are in your past that you're now bringing into the present. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Oh, good, Delaney. I hope that worked for you. So there you go, Fran. I hope that makes sense and means something for you. All right. Here we go. Roger Rabbit, you still in the room? If you are, I'm just going to do a little 3-card for you. And let's see where we are. And we can line up a reading for next week if you'd like. Here you are. I'm going to shuffle for you. This is for you and Carly. We'll just give you a little past, present, and future. And guys, this is one of the mini readings. I will do a past, present, future, and foundation and outcome card. 5-card reading. That's what I charge $45 for over on my site. I do those normally every day. If you buy one before midnight, you get the 10-card reading. All right, here we go. Roger, one more shuffle because I was talking through that last one. And then I'm going to cut the cards for you. And we'll pull 3 cards out for you. All right, if I can get that up. Here we go, Roger. Well, for Pete's sake, I can't pick up the last card. There you go. All right. Card of your present is, it's the Judgment cards, the card we just read. Card of your recent past is the Chariot. And the card of your near future is a card we've also had tonight. It's the 7 of Coins. Now, since we've had 2 of these cards tonight, I think I can give you some very quick ideas on this. I'm going to show you a quick 3-card reading. Judgment in your current. It means you have to dredge up all the things that you've brought to the table in your life. Maybe even do a little spiritual soul searching and say all the things in my past lives. Now, even for me sometimes, past lives, it's a tough one because it's hard to qualify. It's hard to quantify it. Go back there and say, I can bring all that stuff up or all the stuff from my life, all the things I've invested my talents in, my efforts. And since I see there's the Chariot in the past and the coins in the future, 7 of Coins, this might have to do with your well-being, your financial well-being. So this is something that says you have to be the one that pulls all your effort out to resurrect something that it's almost like having put effort into it and it's failed, or putting effort into it and it's over. Now you got to resurrect that in your current. You've got to bring something that no longer is back to life. And you're the one who has to do it. You and Carly, both. Could be one or the other. It could be both of you together making something work. Call it, for sake of ease, you're taking something from the past that's over and putting it back together, resurrecting it, giving it new life, making it mean something new. All right? That's your current. Recent past is the Chariot. Now, the Chariot, I always like to call the Chariot driver. Chariot driver, you're the one in the chariot, driving the team, making it, it's like driving the horse team, driving it to water, making it drink. It's the old adage, you can lead a horse to water but can't make it drink. You, as the chariot driver, are relying on your abilities to bring the horse to water, make it drink, make it think it was its idea to take the drink. It's also got the woman in armor, which is, she's helmed in armor. She's got the shield. She is somebody who, what would you say about her? It's triumph. It's a feeling of freedom. She's driving. She's the heroine, going through the streets, prepared for the changes that might move, or an opportunity to travel somewhere. The charioteer travels light, stays open to fresh experiences that travel with every mountain or pass. And you might be asked to live out of a suitcase for a while, is the idea to consider that everything you're doing, all the places you're going, you're driving the team, you use your diplomacy, you use your skill to lead things where you want them to be. You taste the joys of freedom. The charioteer is nothing if not self-sufficient. And be prepared for changes that are going to sweep in and carry you in with them. Now, the interesting thing about this is the card of your past. This is what has happened to bring you into the current, where you need to have judgment, where you need to resurrect something old to make it work. This is saying you might be moving. By moving, I mean movement, not necessarily relocating, but it's travel, it's movement, it's making something go from one place to the other. And you, with your diplomacy, are going to take the leadership helm, make it work. That's the card of your recent past, putting you in the position where you now have the judgment card in your current. And this energy is leading you to the 7 of coins, which is your outcome or your near future. What you're moving into is this discipline of either entrepreneurship or a job. We had this card a little earlier where you plant everything, you watch it grow, and now you're watching it increase. And maybe the only choices you have are the options of which thing am I going to do? Because I put this all to work for me and I'm making it happen. And this benefits you in that whole material realm. You're the farmer, or you're the agricultural person who put the seed in, watched it grow, watered it, and now it's reaping benefits. This is the stuff that you have put your hand to for so long and made work. This could be what the chariot was in the past, only now it's in the future. It's the outcome of everything you did as the chariot driver. All that effort that you put in to make something good happen for you. The movement could be an offer, could be a job offer, could be an entrepreneurial offer, a home offer, something. There's something going on that's creating that movement from having put in the effort to having put in the effort that's paying off for you. And in the middle is the judgment card, which says all the things you have done, even the ones that might seem like they've failed, it's time to resurrect them in your current because you're moving to this. All right. That make any sense? I hope it does. Brian Parker, that wasn't for you, but you can look at that and go, "Hey, cool. That might be like what's happening to me." I'd read you right now, but you know what? We're kind of out of time because I got to get a little ready to do the show with Rocky. I'm going to change the shirt I've had on all day. It's warm. I'm going to put on a t-shirt and get another cup of coffee, and we're going to have a go, Rocky and I. And so I want to thank you for being here. Roger says you've spoken to us both like you know, have known us for years. Well, fantastic. I'm glad that helps. And if you want to do a bigger reading, just get a hold of me. Let me know. And we'll get her done. And so everybody else, if I didn't get a chance to read you tonight, we'll have other opportunities. If you would like a reading, Jenny and Jeannie, you and I have got to talk. I've got to go dig out your email, find out what's going on to get you and I together. And let's find your time and we'll get you done. And let's see. I think that's it. So let's call it quits there for the night. It's now 10:45 my time. 15 minutes. It'll be 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. Going live with Rocky on the Situation Room. And if you want to get a reading, you got an hour and 15 minutes to go over to my page, scottallenroberts.com. I'll paste it in there again. Get the $45 reading, the 5-card, and we'll do the 10-card Celtic Cross spread for you for the same price. So there you go. Jeannie, I'm glad that was fun. Everybody else, Brenda, see you in the Situation Room too. Everybody else is here. Thank you for being here. Thanks for giving me your time. It's now, as best we can, we're going to make Tuesday Tarot Tuesday instead of Taco Tuesday. And so be back again. Good to see you. I'll be here tomorrow night with something new and exciting, I'm sure. And so all of you take care. I appreciate your time. We'll see you in the Situation Room in about 15 minutes. Have a good night.